Right then, hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship here for round number 2 of the 2020 Formula 1 season at the first anniversary Grand Prix here at the Silverstone circuit. My name is Miran FG in the commentary booth today, and we are here for 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying at the Silverstone circuit. Yes, Formula 1 returns after a week's break. We are, or should I say 2 weeks break, but we are back and prepared for more F1 action here at the Silverstone circuit. The second of the Silverstone double header races, obviously, this being the first anniversary Grand Prix to commemorate the 1-year anniversary of the ACOC. That was a few months ago. Obviously 2 weeks ago we had the British Grand Prix at the exact same circuit, and it would be Enis Parachki who took the race win last time out at Silverstone. We'll see if he's going to be able to do that again. Jafari Black was the first man out as he's going to start his lap of the Silverstone circuit. And speaking of circuit, let's go through the track. So the Silverstone circuit, nicknamed the home of British motor racing, is a circuit that was first opened in 1948. Previously it was used as an airfield for World War II fighter planes to take off from during the 1930s and 40s, and then it was closed after the war and now has been made into a racing circuit. 2 years after its opening, obviously Formula 1 had its first ever Grand Prix in 1950 at this very circuit, although it looked wildly different back then. Many different racing series have come here over the years. Only to name a few, you got Formula 2 and Formula 3 and their predecessors. You've got British GT, BTCC, MotoGP, the World Endurance Championship, and a slew of different series have all come here. I can't put them on a list really because there are so many. Obviously the circuit has also seen many revisions over the years. This layout, which has been in place since 2011, boasts a track length of 5.891 kilometers, 18 turns, and we should expect qualifying laps of about somewhere in the 130s, just about. That's Jafari Blackwood in the Haas, who's the first man out, just comes around the club corner to start his, finish his flying lap. It's a 1:34.614 by the Jamaican Formula 2 champion. Looking at previous winners at this circuit as well, 2017 in our inaugural season, it will be Mohammed Patel, the newly retired driver, then driving for Red Bull, who obviously took his second career race win. It was in fact him who became I think the first race winner to take 2 race wins in a row in the ACOC as a whole, because he won the race at the Red Bull Ring just before that. So he would take the win and the fastest lap, and I believe he won by an astonishing 10 seconds in that race. It was an absolutely phenomenal display of force from Mohammed Patel at Silverstone that year. Next year though, it would go to Alexander Arnold, who took his first ever career win when he signed for Mercedes. Obviously he took the pole, he won from pole just ahead of Alfred Klaus and Mohammed Patel. Jesper Johansson, the eventual champion, would come home empty-handed that race, scoring a total of 0 points. That will be his only DNF of the season, and yeah, he still wound up winning the championship. And then last season, obviously, it was taken by none other than Alfred Klaus, seeing Red Bull take 2 wins in 3 seasons at this track. And then just at the British Grand Prix, we had the fortune swing back to Mercedes as Enis Parachki took an opening race win. He becomes the second man to win the first round of the season, apart from Miran Evji, obviously, as he now is retired. As we're looking at the timing sheets, then Johansson is currently faster with a 1:33.955 from teammate Parachki, and then Franco Gamba in the Renault is third, which is quite impressive. Your bottom 5 at the moment is Josef Frederick Schuto, followed by Lewis McIntyre, Victor Album, Laban Zasnichkai, and Daniel Wale. In the Alfa Romeo is Thomas Mandic. In the Racing Point now goes up into P5. Obviously, remember back 2 weeks ago, Thomas Mandic, who went fastest out of anyone in Q1 in the Racing Point, showing what the British outfit is capable of. Laban Zasnichkai in the struggling Ferrari goes up into 10th. So he is able to get himself out of the elimination zone for now. He pushes Giulia Cesetti down into the elimination zone. Enes Parachkin now takes the fastest spot away from his teammate Johansson. The number 19 black Mercedes that won last time out at Silverstone. He'll be wanting to do it again, obviously. As Luca Farina in the Ferrari now goes up into P4. Very well done from him, but it's P5 as Wojtek Kulasek now joins his Renault teammate on the provisional second row, obviously. 3-4 for Renault in qualifying. Certainly not what I was expecting, but yeah, here they are. And a very well done performance, obviously, from the pair of them. Renault looking quite strong. One man, though, on the opposite end is Alfred Klaus, currently down in 10th. Not the best of sessions at the moment for Klaus. Maybe he hit some traffic or something, because at the moment he's looking quite far down the order. And his teammate Dennis Graf only P6, so Red Bull do seem to be struggling a bit. Same goes for the man in his home race, Lewis McIntyre in the McLaren, down in 18th. As Samet Özkan goes across the line in the Alpha Tauri. He is going to go up into 10th. Laban Zasnichkai improves up into 11th, just ahead of Alfred Klaus. 4 minutes to go then. The McLarens do seem to struggle a lot. P14 and P18. Fernando Tos just tethering on the edge of the elimination zone as Dennis Graf now gets up into second. It's looking a bit more like it for Red Bull as Enes Parachki extends his advantage over the field, but Dennis Graf breaks the two Mercedes apart. Graf then, obviously, who was not able to take the race win away from Enes Parachki in the dying laps of the British Grand Prix. As Lewis McIntyre crosses the line, it's only 17th for Lewis McIntyre in the McLaren. Now something, I don't know what's happened to McIntyre. Maybe the McLaren team have just sent him out on a wrong setup, or just isn't able to acclimatize to the car. Either way, both McLarens seem to be struggling after what seemed like a very, very good performance. P4 and P6 at last time's British GP just doesn't seem to be going their way at the moment. Now that with 3 minutes to go, we're looking at Croatian Thomas Mandic, who is just going to round club corner and then go across the line. Obviously a poleser at the circuit in Formula 2 as he goes up into P5. He took pole here 3 years ago in Formula 2. Daniel Walla then in the Alfa Romeo. Not a poleser at this circuit, in fact. But he is just making his way down the Wellington Straight. Or the Hangar Straight, that is. I'm sorry. But Wall, obviously a race winner in Formula 2, had a very explosive debut where he took a dominant back-to-back victory in the two first races of the season. And was by far I think one of the most dominant opening rounds we've ever seen, as Lewis McIntyre now up at the P11 ahead of his teammate Fernando Tost pushes Emilia Konishina down into the elimination zone. Josef Frederick Schuto, the Slovakian who currently is slowest out of the bunch with a 1:36.1. Not looking very good for the Slovakian at the moment, who opts to stay with Williams for another season. As he rounds Copse and then into the legendary Maggots and Beckett's corners. And we had plenty of coming togethers at Maggots, obviously, in the junior categories in Formula 3 and Formula 2. Hopefully that should obviously not be the case in Formula 1. As Shuto in the middle sector, about 9/10 off, and it's Prachis, so it looks to be an improvement for Shuto if he is able to finish this lap, obviously. Unless he also wants to come into the pit lane, I guess. Either way, we are looking at Lewis McIntyre, currently is in 11th. One thing I should mention is that everyone in the elimination zone, bar Emilia Konishina, is in the pit lane, so they are confirmed out of qualifying here at Silverstone. So if Konishina improves, that will knock out Fernando Tost out of qualifying. We'll see then if the Polish driver can do it. It was the third Polish driver to make their debut in Formula 1, the first one being Kai Czereznia in 2018, and then obviously Fernando Tost followed suit in 2019, and now Konishina in 2020. As Konishina goes across the line, she does improve, but it is not enough to get past Tost. So Konishina is out of qualifying. Luca Farina then is going to be the second man across, or I should say first man across. Jafari Blackwood as well is going to cross the line, and he is actually through Q2, so very well done from Jafari Blackwood. Franco Gamba then in a brilliant fourth. Doing very well as he's going to go across the line. Because he had a very fantastic debut for Red Bull as well, finishing P5 for the Endstone outfit. He did very, very well, and he'll be hoping to carry on the performance to the second Silverstone round as well. Emil Nilsson, who's currently in the top 10, very well done from the Estonian as he's going to go across the line. Will he set an improvement? And he does not, but he is safely through into Q2. Kulase goes across the line. He does not improve. What about Laban Zasnishka down in 12th, as his teammate Farina currently is in 7th. We'll see if he's going to be able to improve here as he's going to go across the line. Zasnishka does not improve. What about Samet Özkan in the Alpha Tauri? He does improve, and he gets himself up into 8th, just ahead of Kai Czereznia. And Emilia Konishina was, in fact, able to get another lap in. So let's see if she can improve and get herself into Q2 as Konishina goes across the line. And no, it's no improvement for Emilia Konishina, and that means that the Alfa Romeo driver is knocked out in Q1. Both Alfa Romeos are, in fact, out. Luca Farina then across the line. Farina does not improve. He stays 7th. And the final car across the line will be Jafari Blackwood. Blackwood does not improve, but he's still safely through. And that's Q1 done and dusted. Enis Parachki is the fastest man out in Q1. And your bottom 5 is Emilia Konishina, Daniel Wale, Giulia Cesetti, Victor Albom, and Josef Frederick Schuto. So that's Q1 done and dusted then. Parachki obviously being fastest, the two Mercedes at the top, with Dennis Groff splitting the two. Now, I have to say, one man that looked very uncertain in Q1 was Alfred Klaus down in 13th. I don't know if he's just saving the car for Q3, but obviously with a DNF at the opening round of the season, I guess that might have hurt his form a tiny bit. Either way, I think we'll just have to wait and see until Q3 if Klaus will be back on regular form. But one of the Haas making it through into Q2. Blackwood P14 as Albom is down in 19th, which is a shame to see, obviously, for Victor Albom. Both Williams is knocked out as well. Giulia Cesetti was able to make her way into Q2 last time out, obviously. And both Alfa Romeos out as well. McLaren P11 and P15, so it is not looking very certain for them either compared to where they were last time out at the British Grand Prix. We'll see then if they will be able to do it. But one team that I have to say is looking very good is Alpha Tauri, P8 and P10 in Q1. Özkan leading Nilsson. It's looking quite good for them, and if they are able to carry on this performance through into Q2, it could be a very good quali performance. For the Red Bull sister team. Obviously, they came home empty-handed last time out. They scored 0 points in total, so they'll be hoping for a bit better now as we return to Silverstone. Honorable mention as well to the Renaults P4 and P6 in Q1. Franco Gamba doing very, very well up in 4th for Renault, obviously, and then Kulasek in 6th. Kulasek obviously was just behind his former teammate 2 years ago, Tomas Mandic, in the Racing Point. Both Racing Point in the top 10 as well. Kai Szczesnia is in 9th, so it's not badly done from them. Then the two Ferraris. You've got Luca Farina in 7th and Laban Zafnishkai in 12th. Now, Laban did not have the greatest of qualifyings either. He got knocked out in Q1, in fact, at Silverstone, at the British Grand Prix. So it was not the best of performances from him. Yet he still was able to extract 1 point. So he finished P10 at Silverstone. Let's see if he can do it, obviously. And we are here for Q2 then. And it is Kai Szczesnia we are on board with at the moment in the number 55 Racing Point car, the BWT Racing Point. Kai Szczesnia then a very interesting driver. I guess he is quite closely affiliated with the color pink, because it has been a color he has represented for about 2 years, I'd say, now. But Szczesnia, a very, very interesting driver, debuted in 2017 in Formula E. That was tier number 3. He debuted for BMW I Andretti Motorsport, and he was partnered alongside the eventual champion and fellow compatriot Jakub Sikorski. It was a very, very close championship fight. Szczesnia had a record, finished as best as second in round number 4. Was a 1-2 for Andretti that race, but he finished on 40 points, tied with current McLaren driver and the man you're looking at the moment, Fernando Tost, in Formula E, and current F2 driver Eduardo Silva. But it was enough for Szczesnia to earn a promotion into Formula 2 with BWT Arden. And I have to say, what a debut it was for him as well, scoring P3 on debut, then a P8 at Baku, and then came his legendary 2 wins in a row at Barcelona and Paul Ricard, which saw him take the lead of the championship by an absolutely incredible amount. I can't remember it exactly, but it was by quite a bit. And just immediately after that, obviously, he was promoted to Formula 1, as obviously Blake Moore had his contract terminated with Racing Point, and it was Szczesnia who stepped up to replace him at Racing Point. And he had a pretty alright debut as well. I mean, it wasn't anything spectacular considering you threw a driver who just got into F2 into an F1 race seat, but he scored 7 points in total throughout the season. And obviously, Racing Point would renew his contract for 2019. He was then partnered alongside Mohammed Patel in his final season of Formula 1. He, I have to say, beat Szczesnia quite soundly Patel ending the season on 28 points and Chereznia ending it on 9. It looked to be quite a season of struggles for Kai Chereznia, but as Mohamed Patel announced his retirement, Racing Point had no option but to keep the Polish driver, and he would be partnered alongside Thomas Mandic this season. As the times are coming in on the board at the moment, it is Parachi leading Johansson from the aforementioned Kai Chereznia in third at the moment. Mandic then is currently in 10th. Your bottom 5 at the moment is Farina, Nilsson, Blackwood, Özkan, and then Franco Gamba in 11th, which is quite the shock, if I have to say so myself, considering his pace in Q1. Maybe he's got held up on traffic somehow, but that Renault is looking very, very good in this season so far. Gamba then across the line, the Italian does not improve, unfortunately for him. He will stay in 11th for the time being. Samet Özkan does improve, but the Swede stays in P12 in the Alpha Tauri's Luca Farina, who's in the elimination zone, and the Ferrari currently improves up into 14th. Laban Zasnishka, then his teammate, currently running a very, very good 5th at the moment, just ahead of Lewis McIntyre in the Alpha Tauri, or sorry, the McLaren. I am still stuck in 2019. In the McLaren, I forget he's still driving for McLaren now. Yeah, both Alpha Tauris, speaking of them, are currently in the elimination zone, as you have Blackwood in, or sorry, Özkan in 12th and Nilsson in 15th, as Blackwood himself at the moment. You can see him battling with Enis Parachki, as he's going to go on the inside line through Brookland, but he's going to the outside through Luffield, and we all know that's the worst line through Luffield, so it is going to be Blackwood who is able to get past, or sorry, defend from Ennis here in qualifying. So we're already having some squabbling here in Q2, and Parachki is already going to be on the inside line of Blackwood through Cops. They go wheel to wheel, and there in the background is teammate Johansson, but I think Blackwood is going to see it through Maggots. He does so Parachki does get ahead of the Haas driver, though it was a bit of a struggle for the Mercedes. And now Jesper Johansson has it's his turn to try and get past the Haas driver. Let's see if he's going to be able to do that. As Samet Özkan improves up into 11th, just ahead of Franco Gamba. Luca Farina now takes away the 11th position from Samet Özkan, edging a bit closer to getting himself out of the elimination zone. Emil Nilsson sets an improvement, however the Estonian stays in last. What can Jafari Blackwood do? He cannot improve, as he will stay in 14th, unsurprisingly enough, considering he battled with the two Mercs on their flying laps, and I think Parachki and Johansson will have had their laps ruined as well. But I guess it wouldn't matter, considering that they are running 1-2 at the moment in qualifying from Kai Chereznia in third. I have to mention that again. Very impressive stuff from the Polish driver. Then you have Dennis Graf in fourth, with Laban Zasnishkai in fifth, and Lewis McIntyre seems to have gotten it together. Same with his teammate Tost in eighth. There is Jafari Blackwood then, as he rounds Kops. Thomas Mandic then improves up into seventh, just ahead of Alfred Klaus, who seems to have improved a bit with qualifying. However, he is at the moment looking a bit off his teammate Graf. As we look at the man just a bit further ahead of Blackwood on track at the moment, Enis Parachki, who currently is, who was fastest in Q1 and looks to be fastest in Q2, as he comes into the pit lane as the checkered flag just falls. Jafari Blackwood behind him will continue his lap as he gets knocked down to last, as Emil Nilsson goes up to 14th. Can Blackwood improve on his lap? No, it cannot, and Jafari Blackwood is knocked out of Q2. So is Franco Gamba as well. That is quite the shocker, considering what a great Q1 he had. But he will be out of Q2 and starting P13. Let's see what his teammate can do, though. Wojtek Kulasek in 10th, who's just on the edge of the elimination zone as he goes across the line, and he does improve and goes up one position ahead of Fernando Tost, who gets knocked down to 10th. And now Tost will be having to hope that Farina or Özkan does not improve, otherwise it will see the Polish driver not go through into Q3. Tomas Mandic goes across the line, and up into P5 goes Tomas Mandic. Good improvement from him. What about Kai Teresnia? Already running a brilliant third. Let's see if he might be able to improve, and he does not. Alfred Klaus, though, takes the third away from Kai Teresnia and gets himself ahead of teammate Dennis Stroff. Now that is looking a bit better for Alfred Klaus in the Red Bull. Lewis McIntyre then in 8th, as I think Luca Farina is being held up by the McLaren here. Both of them are going to go across the line. Will any of them be able to improve? Farina does not improve, and he's knocked out of Q2. So Luca Farina will be starting P11 at best here at the first anniversary Grand Prix. What about Emil Nilsson? Nilsson does not improve, and the Estonian stays in 14th. Blackwood across the line. Blackwood does not improve either, and he will be staying in last position. Now, I believe the final car across the line will be Wojtek Kulasek. No, it is not, and that is Q2 done and dusted. Enis Parashki once again takes the fastest spot, and it is your bottom 5 being Luca Farina, Samet Özkan, Franco Gamba, Emil Nilsson, and Jafari Blackwood. Shame for Blackwood then to have him at the bottom of Q2. But Luca Farina obviously is a big news. Same with Franco Gamba, the other Italian, knocked out in Q2. Farina, who was not able to drag that Ferrari into Q3. Same with Franco Gamba, obviously, who had very, very good pace in qualifying in Q1, and obviously last time out as well, had very good pace in quali. Fortunately, was not able to convert that into this session. Both Alpha Tauri's out as well, P12 and P14. So this will be quite interesting to see then as we approach Q3 and the battle for pole position here for the first anniversary Grand Prix. And it has been Enis Parashki and Mercedes looking quite dominant in Q1 and Q2. We'll see if they can carry on that performance then into Q3. It's going to be interesting to see who will be crowned as the official pole sitter for the first anniversary Grand Prix. To remind you of the championship standings, obviously, it is Enis Parashki who took his race win, so it is essentially just the results of the first race. But Parashki on 25 points, with Graf on 19, Johansson on 15, followed by Tost, Gamba, McIntyre, Farina, Mandic, Kulasek, and Zasnishkai. The rest are non-scorers. The constructors is a bit more interesting, though. You have Mercedes on 40 points, followed by McLaren on 20, and then Red Bull, who are just 1 point shy of the P2 spot. They are on 19 points, and then Renault are on 12 with Ferrari on 7, and then Racing Point on 4. So I have to say, it is looking quite interesting at the moment. The battle for P2 between McLaren and Red Bull. Well, to be fair, though, also Red Bull did have one car DNF at the British Grand Prix, so it doesn't come as much of a surprise that McLaren were able to outscore Red Bull that day. As Tost is going to start his lap, then let's go for a flying lap with Fernando Tost of McLaren as he starts his lap then through the fast left-hander of Abbey, or the right-hander of Abbey, and then into the left of Farm, now into the first braking zone of Silverstone Village. and then into the loop. If you run wide here, it's very easy that you may be compromised and lose your position. Then through Aintree, and now down the Wellington Straight, which is obviously a DRS zone, and into the first very big overtaking opportunity into Brooklands, and you can really carry just great battles through here. And then into the right-hander of Luffield as well. Try not to run wide there on exit, because you're going to go onto the gravel, and then that's going to lose you massive amounts of speed. Down the National Circuit start-finish straight and into the fast right-hander of Cops. It's flat out in these cars, obviously, considering how much downforce they have compared to their predecessors. And then through Maggots and Beckett's. Absolutely legendary corners. You only need to downshift there for Beckett, and then through Chapel down the Hanger Straight into probably one of the biggest overtaking spots on the track as well. Stowe Corner. It's a very fast and open corner, but you can run. It's really easy to run wide there on the exit of Stowe, then into the Vales Chicane. Make sure to avoid that inside curb there. Then only one corner to go. Club Corner, and down the start finish straight across the line he goes, and it is a 1:34.291 for Fernando Tost of McLaren. So that was a lap of Silverstone. Now then, it's going to be interesting to see, as the other times are going to pour in on the board, who will be fastest and who will have a bit of improvement to do. As Tost continues his lap, I think that's one of the Mercedes behind I believe it is, we're not going to see that. I think it's Johansson, as Parachi just set his lap time. It's a 1:34.299. He's actually slower than him. Dennis Graf now goes fastest in the Red Bull. Still hasn't settled in with me that Graf is at Red Bull. It's still such a massive and shocking transfer. I think that's probably the biggest transfer we've had in the ACOC's history. Wojtek Kulasek then slots in between Graf and Tost, as Parachi hasn't had the best of qualifying to look like behind Tost and Kulasek. Mandic in 6th, just behind teammate Cherezhnia, as McIntyre currently slowest out of the bunch. We're waiting for Johansson, and there goes Asnishka. So we're waiting for Johansson and I don't know who the other one is. I have forgotten, it looks like. But as Asnishka sets his time, he's currently slowest out of the bunch by about a 10th. There's Alfred Klaus making a Red Bull 1-2 at the moment, and Jesper Johansson only 4th. So I think my theory was correct. Red Bull were saving the cars to Q3. So you can see Mercedes are 4-6, with the Renault of Kulasek in 3rd, and then Fernando Tost and McLaren 5th. Now this could be quite a crucial error from Mercedes. Either way, only the first few laps have been set. Johansson is improving in the first sector. He's at 10th up on Dennis Graf. Will Johansson be able to improve as he heads through Luffield? Let's see, as we're going to stay with the Swede, the two-time world champion, obviously, as he heads down the national start-finish straight, then through into Kops. Johansson will be wanting to stick it onto pole, obviously, considering he failed to do that last time out at the British Grand Prix through Maggots and Beckett's. Now you can see the car looks absolutely planted through there with how much downforce they have. Now then, what's his middle sector time gonna be? It is a 1:07.452, and he's 2/10 down on Dennis Graf. He lost quite a substantial amount of time to the Red Bulls. Will he still be able to improve and get himself up in the second to break the Red Bull 1-2? That is going to be the question, as I think he's into the pits. Johansson's coming to the pits. So I don't think, he's not going to get another time in. Johansson will be starting P4 at best in the British Grand Prix. Now that is a massive, or the first anniversary Grand Prix, but that is a massive upset for Mercedes here at Silverstone. Johansson will be starting 4th. Parachi is going to be the only hope for the Brackley outfit to secure pole. And at the moment, he's down in P6. Will it be the pole for Dennis Graf or Alfred Klaus? Graf in the pit as well. So he won't be able to improve. It's going to be between Klaus, Parachki, and Graf. And Parachki's going to cross the line. He goes second. It's not enough for pole position for Enes Parachki at the moment. What about Alfred Klaus in third then, as he's making his way around the circuit? Thomas Mandic in eighth will be trying to get himself up a few positions. As Parachki has split the two Mercs up, or the two Red Bulls apart. Let's see what Mandic can do as he goes across the line. Mandic does not improve. But yeah, Parachki currently in second at the moment, as he undoubtedly is looking to share the front row with Dennis Graf once again. Obviously, Graf and Parachki are no strangers to each other when it comes to sharing qualifying rows. But the checker flag has now fallen, and it looks to be Parachki and Klaus the only hope to toppling Dennis Graf's pole time, and it's going to be Klaus first man across, and he cannot improve. Alfred Klaus will not be on pole for the first anniversary Grand Prix. He will be starting in P3. And Enes Parachki, it is absolute woe for the Macedonian, as he's got Kai Cherezhnia just ahead of him on track. And I do not think it is going to be the pole for Dennis Graf. He's going to be held up massively through Vale, and everything has played into the hands of Dennis Graf today in qualifying. Absolutely took Mercedes and the entire paddock by storm. As Parachki is going to go across the line, he does not improve. And yes, I think we're just going to wait confirmation for Graf on pole. But Parachki can't do it, Klaus can't do it, Johansson cannot do it either. He will be starting in P5, Jesper Johansson. McIntyre's going to be go across the line. He does not improve. Mandic goes into the pits. Klaus, I do not think he's gonna have time to finish his lap. Actually, he might be. He might be still on a lap here, Alfred Klaus. He's 2/10 off in the middle sector, so I don't think it's necessarily gonna be the pole for Klaus, but he could try and get himself ahead of Enes Parachki here as he rounds Stowe Corner. What an upset for Mercedes, but no, Klaus is coming in, so Klaus will not improve. He will be staying in third. There's Cherezhnia, as Parachki is going to try to jostle his way past the Polish driver to go wheel to wheel through Maggots and Beckett, and Cherezhnia pushes Parachki wide, but Enes does get the overtake done. That was very close between the two. Either way, the checker flag falls, and it is Dennis Graf on pole position for Red Bull here at the first anniversary Grand Prix. And that is qualifying done and dusted. Dennis Graf secures pole position, his first pole for Red Bull in the ACOC, and Red Bull's first pole this season as well. Now, Graf obviously looked very, very strong on the pace. Last time out, the British GP has carried that towards the first anniversary GP. And Enes Parachki, obviously on the front row, did everything he could, but he just got very, very unlucky. And Jesper Johansson down in fifth. Didn't do the best qualifying effort in 2 weeks ago, and doesn't look to be able to do it either today. So I don't know what's happening with Johansson at the moment. But one man you have to commend, Wojtek Kulasek in fourth. For Renault, that is a very, very good qualifying position. And if one of the top three runs into issue, you could have a Renault in the podium positions. And obviously, that would be Renault's first podium since Hungary 2018. But I will not get too ahead of myself here. Got the two racing points, P7 and P8 as well. Lewis McIntyre 9th. Lamas Nisha could not extract much out of that Ferrari. He is in 10th, so both Ferraris will be P10 and P11. But the question is, Graf and Parachki, we've seen them battle many, many times. Both this season and the last. So it is going to be a quite contested race win, I would assume. And we are now here just about, and we should be ready to go then for the starting grid. And we're down here. All 20 cars are prepared. Let's go through the starting grid then before lights out for the first anniversary Grand Prix. And it is Dennis Groff, the 2017 world champion, takes pole position here at Silverstone, and accompanying him on the front row once again, it is Enis Paraschke of Mercedes. The second row is an unusual one as Alfred Klaus takes third with Wojtek Kulasek in the Renault. Fantastic performance from the Czech driver in fourth, with two-time world champion Jesper Johansson starting in fifth, with Fernando Tost once again. We know his qualifying brilliance. It shines again as he starts in P6, and behind him is fellow compatriot Kai Cherezhnia in seventh, leading teammate Tomas Mandic in eighth. Lewis McIntyre starts ninth, with Laban Zasnishkai rounding out the points, and just outside of the top 10 is Zasnishkai's Ferrari teammate Luca Farina in 11th. Samet Özkan starts in 12th, with Franco Gamba disappointing qualifying for the Italian in 13th, with Emil Nilsson in 14th, and it's Jafari Blackman in 15th, with Emilia Konishina in the Alfa Romeo P16 with her teammate Daniel Wale in 17th. Giulia Cesetti starts in P18, with Victor Albom taking the 19th spot, and taking the final spot on the grid will be Josef Frederick Schuto. So, and the game has crashed. Okay. So I guess we will not go down to the grid for lights out. You guys will have to be waiting for a bit longer, unfortunately. But at the moment, we are we're just gonna try to fix this issue. So we'll have to reboot the game really quickly. Apologies for the technical issue. And we should be back. Almost. We're almost here. Just bear with us for a bit. We'll be back down to the grid very, very soon. But for those watching then, leave your predictions for the race win or even the podium in the stream chat below. Would like to take a look at them and read them as the race goes on. But now then, we should be back for the starting grid for the first anniversary Grand Prix, and I've already gone through it. So we're just gonna go down to the grid. So, world champion Dennis Groff on pole for the first anniversary Grand Prix. It's Enis Paraschke in second, as we have 6 lights for the first anniversary Grand Prix. And we're underway here at Silverstone. Good start for Enis Paraschke, already taking advantage of the start on the inside line of Dennis Groff, trying to go for the leader 2 wheel to wheel through Abbey. Groff tries to defend around the outside, and he does succeed with it as Groff takes the lead, but Paraschke has to deal with second. Kulasek already under pressure from Jesper Johansson. That's Franco Gamba, his teammate, facing the wrong way, and a lot of cars off into turn 1. And I do think that's a lot of cars out on Q1. That is about 6 cars out. What has happened? Absolutely diabolical start for a lot of these guys. Are we not? Is there not going to be a red flag, I wonder? But no, it seems that the racing is going to continue as Groff leads from Paraschke and Klaus. Now it looks like the 2 Ferraris are out. at the moment, as Klaus currently is in third, chasing down Enes Parachi, Wojtek Kulasek running in fourth from Jesper Johansson, so he was able to defend from him. Emilia Konishina making her way all the way up into 10th, so good avoidance then from Konishina. Chereshnia running in 7th as everyone heads through the Vale chicane. Could we get a replay of what happened at the start? Because that seemed absolutely chaotic. We're going to see what happened then. That's a total of 6 cars wiped out at the start. So that was Franco Gamba. We're going to see what happened to him on board with the Renault. You can see there, what the absolutely woeful start for the Ferrari up ahead. And then as they head into turn 1 here. And wow, everything just breaks loose there. The Alpha Tauri made contact with the Ferrari, and Gamba just gets collected by the Ferrari there, who had a stupid re-entry, and then gets tagged by the Haas of Victor Albom. And Lewis McIntyre had a separate accident as well, as he tried to go around the outside, but I think he got hit by someone over the curb and just made contact with the back wheel of the Racing Point. This is Farinas on board, and you can see this as Nika loses it on the curb. He didn't even hit someone, I think. He just barely made contact with the back wheel of the McLaren. That's such a chaotic start here. Absolute carnage, and Victor Albom here, who tried to do his best at avoiding everyone, had to go on the brakes there, and then was Gamba just re-entering there. Albom, yes, didn't want to go on the brakes, but he continued. But there should be some damage to that Haas, I do think. Either way, the race will carry on. Graf leads from Parachi, Klaus Kulasek, and Johansson, with Fernando Tost in P6. As you have the battle for points as well a bit further down the field. Daniel Waller chasing down Emilia Konishina then for 10th position. Graf then already pulling away from Enes Parachi. That's by almost a second now. He's pulled away from Dennis Graf, from Enes Parachi, sorry. So Graf has really rocketed off the lead compared to his very slow getaway that he had. And there's Mandic then trying to put the pressure on his teammate Chereshnia in 7th position. Franco Gamba then it's gone from bad to worse for him, obviously, as he's 17 seconds behind everyone else at the moment. It's been another, obviously, Victor Albom's been involved in another accident at the Silverstone. Obviously, he was involved in one 2 weeks ago, and he's done it once again, unfortunately for him. So I think this is going to be a weekend to forget for Victor Albom. As we look at P5, quite an unusually calm start. No one's making any gains on each other, it looks like. But Dennis Graf pulls away as he sets the fastest lap on lap 3. DRS should now be enabled, so we should have a bit of closer racing. As we see Chereshnia head through the loop, and then Aintree is going to try to get his fellow compatriot in the McLaren, Fernando Tost. Looking at, sorry for the silence, but yeah, Johansson currently in 5th, chasing down the slower Kulasek at the moment, but Kulasek really out dragging the Renault up into 4th. Johansson just isn't able to get past the Renault at the moment, but the top 5 remains virtually unchanged then from the start. As we head then into Vale, it's going to be Mandic then, who is also chasing down teammate Chereshnia. Chereshnia, who's trying to chase Fernando Tost. As everyone heads through Abbey again. Starting to settle into the gas, but Johansson is still trying to make the move on Fernando Tost, or sorry, Kulasek. Had a look on the inside line there into Farm. Sorry, Village, that is. I keep confusing the corner names at Silverstone. But Alfred Klaus, who is about 1.2 seconds off Enis Prauschke, does not have DRS, and thus as a result, Wojtek Kulasek is able to close in and momentarily hold off Jesper Johansson for P4. Further down the field, there's the battle for points as well between the two Alfa Romeo teammates. Emilia Konishina leading Daniel Wale at the moment as they run P10 and P11 as the two Ferraris obviously DNF'd. Wojtek Kulasek then in 5th with DRS. He's closing in on Alfred Klaus. Will the Renault try anything at the moment? No, he does not. He will stay in 4th for the time being. Johansson looking quite close to Kulasek as well. Tries to follow him through Vale, but to no avail. Pun not intended. On to lap 5 now is Johansson, and everyone heads through Abbey. Obviously, Jesper is going to want to get close to Kulasek in these early few laps. He wants to overtake the Renault as soon as possible to not lose any time and go and fight for the podium. Now, Klaus is actually closing in on Enis Prauschke here. Prauschke, who's lost massive amounts of time to Dennis Graf, who's just pulled away. Look at that, by 3.3 seconds to Enis Prauschke. It's an absolutely massive gap to the race leader. So Graf really excelling here at the moment in these opening laps of the first anniversary Grand Prix. Daniel Walden, as we see him head through Copse. There's Alfred Klaus on the back of Enis Prauschke, so we could have a pretty interesting battle for P2 here, as Klaus is going to be within DRS range of Prauschke, and he's going to try to make it a Red Bull 1-2. Is he going to be close enough to make a move, though, on Prauschke? No, not yet. But Daniel Wale is going to try it on his teammate Emilia Konishina. He's not close enough, though. Konishina defends easily around the outside of Daniel Wale, so both of them will hold station for the time being. Klaus then still chasing down Enis Prauschke as they head into Village. I think his best opportunity should come at Brooklands now, but he's just gonna have to get just gonna have to take these corners absolutely optimally now through Aintree, and now he is going to have the DRS, and you can see he is closing, and he is closing even more, but he isn't closing enough to try and make a move on Enis Prauschke. This is good for Wojtek Kulasek, obviously, because he's going to benefit off the slipstream of Alfred Klaus, so he'll be safe from Jesper Johansson for at least a few laps here. And Clausen is trying to follow Prauschke through the S's of Maggots and Beckett's, runs a bit wide through Maggots, so he's going to have to watch out for that. But with the DRS, it has compromised him a bit, it looks like. By going wide, obviously lost time to Ennis. There is Daniel Wale, who's having a look on the inside line of Konishina, but nothing happening there just yet. I wonder if Wallace eventually going to be able to do this. Johansson on the inside line, but he goes over the curb and runs wide as he tries to attack Kulasek. Goes over the curb. A very uncharacteristic mistake from the world champion, as Fernando Tost is now going to try and overtake Johansson, but Johansson does defend from the McLaren, and now Tost going to be under pressure from Cherezny on the inside line, but Kai goes over the curb and he spins round, sent into a bit of a half spin there, and that's going to see him go down 2 positions. Mandic and Nilsson go past. That's a big mistake from Kai Cherezny, and sent him down a lot of positions. As we look once again to the battle further up the field, Dennis Ruff leads by 5 seconds now. That's absolutely insane. And looking at the trend, it looks to be another Red Bull win here. Considering it's been Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull, Mercedes, Red Bull, and then Mercedes. So I think it is going to be another Red Bull win, but we can't know this early in the race. As is Klaus going to try anything into Maggots? No, but he follows the Macedonian driver through Maggots and Beckett, and he should have a good run heading out of Chapel, as he is going to have the DRS on Parachki, but is he close enough to make a move? Negative. He will stay behind for the time being. Might he try into Vale, though? That is the question. It does not, as he isn't close enough just yet, but he's going to be patient, and he's got to bide his time behind Ennis Parachki. We know Klaus is a driver that's we know he's a very, very good overtaker on his day, but obviously patience is key to making good overtakes. You gotta wait, and you gotta find the perfect opportunity to squeeze past Parachki. One man who's struggling with overtaking as well, Daniel Wale, in 11th at the moment, trying to get past teammate Emilia Konishina in 10th, both looking to score their first points in Formula 1. We'll see who's going to be able to do it, as the Wale gets very, very close into Brooklands, but nothing coming out of that just yet. Wale's going to remain behind and hopefully should be able to line up a move into some other part of the track. And Klaus then heading through Maggots and Beckett. You can see how close he gets to Ennis through the corners, and Parachki, you can see he's losing massive amounts of time on Graf as we speak. It's going up to 6 seconds now, so if Klaus wants a chance of contending for the race lead, he's going to want to try and get past Parachki, and he's going to try to have a look on the inside line. Gets a bit closer this time, but he has not succeeded with the move. There was Mandic on Tost, but the Croatian was not able to get past the Polish driver, yet he still has a look on the inside line of Vale, but he spins him round, and Mandic makes contact with Fernando Tost in the McLaren, and that's going to send the Polish driver out of the points. And big shame for Fernando Tost. I think he's trying to make his way back onto the circuit. He has, all the way down in P13. What a shame for Fernando Tost, and that was not nice from Thomas Mandic. Mandic getting a bit too close to the McLaren and sending him into a spin. And there's Wale fighting for condition. Now both of them are in the points following Tost's incident with Mandic, as Wale is going to be wheel to wheel with Konishina. The two are going to go side by side into Brooklands. Wale with the inside line into Brooklands, but he's going to the outside through Luffield, and that is the less favorable outside line. So it is going to be Konishina who defends from Daniel Wale, and Wale going quite a lot onto the gravel, and now this gives Jafari Blackwood the run to try and get himself into the point. From P15 on the grid, he's going to try to get into P10 as he goes on the inside line through Cobbs. It's going to be side by side with Daniel Wale, both Formula 2 race winners obviously, but Wale is going to remain momentarily ahead into Maggots. So Wale does defend from the Jamaican. Here comes Alfred Klaus then on to Ennis Parachki on the inside line through Stowe. Will he succeed with the overtake, or will Parachki defend from the Swede in the Red Bull to wheel into Vale? Klaus going to go around the outside as Parachki jumps over the curb, and Klaus is ahead of Ennis Parachki. So that's a Red Bull 1-2 then here at the first anniversary Grand Prix. And even with 6 cars out, it is still quite good racing we're getting here. As Parachki is still on the back of Klaus then. That Mercedes engine should theoretically be more superior than the Honda engine. So we'll see what he can do then, as he's gonna have the DRS. No, he does not have DRS. Parashi is not in the DRS zone. I don't know why that is. But Ennis, I guess he must have fallen out within a second during the DRS activation zone. As all of them head through Kops, Kulasek's now going to be chasing down Ennis Parashki here. As they head through Maggots. Is Kulasek going to be close enough? Will Wojtek Kulasek be able to get himself into the podium? That's going to be the big question, as he is going to be in the DRS. Will Kulasek be able to do it? Parashki also has the DRS, so yeah, there's no major advantage for him. Cherezhnia, though, is going to try it on Nilsson on the inside line. But Nilsson does defend from Kai Cherezhnia, as Cherezhnia is not close enough to get past him. But he's still going to be there on the inside. Late lunge from the Polish driver. But the move did not succeed. A bit too opportunistic for Cherezhnia there. Still very, very close to the back of the AlphaTauri as they both head through Abbey. We'll see what Cherezhnia can do. Best opportunity obviously is going to come into Brooklands, as he just needs a DRS to be able to punch past Emil Nilsson. And there he goes then with the DRS then. Kai Cherezhnia, will he be able to make the move on Nilsson? No, he does not. Late on the brakes though for Cherezhnia. Maybe he was trying to have a look on the outside of the Estonian, but nothing came out of that. Going a bit further up the field, the battle for podiums with Parachki, Kulasek, and then Jesper Johansson in 5th. Now then, as they head out of Chapel, Kulasek with the DRS. Parachki does not have it, and already here comes Wojtek Kulasek on the inside line into Stowe. Will the Renault be able to get past the Mercedes, as the two are going to go side by side? Parachki around the outside should have the better defense, but into Vale, Kulasek is going to be later on the brakes, and Parachki jumps over the curb though, and Wojtek Kulasek storms up into 3rd, and the Renault now runs in the podium. Brilliant stuff from Kulasek then, as he now runs P3 for Renault. And that sees Parachki go out of the points, and now he's got teammate Johansson knocking. We'll see then if he's going to be able to make any moves. Maybe he was having a look there on the inside line into the loop. But Parachki obviously is going to have DRS, and Kulasek won't, considering he's 2 seconds off Klaus. And Klaus, who doesn't seem to be getting anything either, as Johansson has a look on the outside of Parachki. But yeah, just wasn't close enough to get past Ennis. But as I said, Klaus doesn't look to be gaining anything on Groff either. Groff is just in a world of his own at the moment, 8 seconds ahead of Alfred Klaus. As the two Mercedes head through Maggots and Beckett's. Will Johansson be close enough to line up a move on his teammate? That is going to be the question. And yes, here he goes then on the inside line of Ennis Parachki, just as Wojtek Kulasek did it. Jesper Johansson is going to try it as well. But no, Parachki defends round the outside. Johansson still going to try it though on the outside line into Vale. Will Jesper succeed with the move? He does, and up into 4th goes Jesper Johansson. So that is Johansson then up into 4th. And now it's going to want to chase down Kulasek for P3. Now Parachi, I don't know what's up with that Mercedes, but it just seems to be dropping like a stone here. That's not going to be good for his championship. As Mandic there on the inside line of Parachi, but he jumps over the curb and ruins his chances of an overtake at Village. There's Daniel Waller then, as he's still battling with teammate Konichina, following the Alfa Romeo, going a bit wide though. I think that's going to invite Jafari Blackwood to this little battle here. Heading through Maggots and Beckett's. There's Mandic, who's now going to try to get past Parachi. Will that work though? It's not close enough just yet. The Racing Point trying to get up into 5th. Here's another Racing Point trying to get up into 7th. As Chereshny is going to be on the inside line of Nilsson. But Emil defends the outside line, and it is going to be Chereshny holding his position for the time being. Looking at the battle for P9 is Kanishina, Wale, and Blackwood at the moment. But they've all held station for now. No one's been able to overtake each other, so the status quo has been held in the midfield. Chereshny then getting closer as he's going to try to overtake Nilsson. Has a look on the outside, but obviously there's not enough space for him to go past. There's Tomas Mandic still chasing down Enes Parachi, as Parachi is now out of DRS range, so Mandic should have it a bit easier to overtake the Macedonian. As Mandic now engages DRS, and he's going to try to get past his fellow Mercedes-powered driver, as he's going to be on the inside line through Stowe, but it is not going to work for Mandic, so he will have to stay behind for the time being. There's Nilsson and Chereshny on the outside. And he's going to go around the outside through into Stowe, or Vale, should I say. And he does get past, doesn't get the best of exit Stowe. Nilsson's going to have a look on the inside line. But that is not the smartest of moves that we have seen before. So Nilsson backs out of it. And that is Kai Chereshny up into 7th. And he's made his way back into 7th position after that spin that he had. So nicely done from Kai Chereshny. There is Jesper Johansson. He's going to try to attack Wojtek Kulasek for 3rd position. So he's going to try to get one Mercedes into the podium at least. And there's Daniel Waller having a look on the inside of Emilia Konishina, but Konishina still defends. So nothing coming out of this battle just yet. There's Jesper Johansson battling with Wojtek Kulasek. Nothing happening. There's Mandic running a bit wide as he's trying to follow Parachi through the S's. But he makes it back through Chapel, so I think it should be still plausible overtake for him. Let's look at Jesper Johansson though. Will he be able to make the move on Wojtek Kulasek as he goes down the inside of Kulasek, but he just isn't close enough yet. Mandic though gets ahead of Enes Parachi through into Stowe, so that's Tomas Mandic up to 5th, and Jesper Johansson up into 3rd. One Mercedes loses out, the other gains, as Johansson now gets into the podium positions. There's Jafari Blackwood. I think Daniel Waller was defending from him. And Blackwood gets quite a good run on Daniel Waller, but he just isn't able to utilize that heading into turn 1. Still closely following the Chinese driver in the Alfa Romeo. There's Kulasek then in 4th, as Johansson is going to try to chase him down. Kulasek is going to try to hold on to his position, and obviously it's going to help him considering Johansson is 4.6 behind Alfred Klaus at the moment. And obviously the race leader Dennis Graf, who is 8 seconds ahead of Alfred Klaus at the moment. As they were heading through Maggots and Beckes, Graf was just rounding Stowe. So it's an absolutely monumental difference between the two Red Bulls on track at the moment. There's Daniel Waller then. Gap's looking a bit further away to conditioner than it was in the previous laps. So I think Waller might have to start worrying about defense more than offense here. So we'll see if Waller is going to be able to hold on to his position. Then Jafari Blackwood obviously wants to get into the points as well, considering he has not scored any points this season so far. Obviously all these 3 drivers have not scored any points yet this season, so they'll all be wanting to fight for points here. Heading through Copston and into Maggots and Beckett, you can see that Blackwood is just getting closer and closer to Waller, and Waller he is trying to hang on to condition obviously, but it just isn't working for Waller. And obviously all Blackwood needs is for Daniel to fall out of the DRS range, and then it will probably be job done for Jafari. There's Kai Chereshny then in 7th at the moment, as he's about a second off Enis Parachki. So he's going to try to be the next person to overtake the struggling Mercedes driver. Heading down the Wellington Straight then, Waller, Blackwood and Konishi are no one able to make any significant gains on each other, as Waller just, I think he's used up most of his tires then in the first half of the race to try and push to get Konishi, but now he's just gonna have to, I think he's just gonna have to go slow down and just let the tires cool off a bit. So we'll see if Waller will be able to hold on to that position, considering he might be doing a bit of tire saving. Who knows? Chereshny then, who has entered the DRS range to Enis Parachki, now might be his chance to get up another position here. The man obviously who went pointless last time out at the British Grand Prix is now running in the points. Obviously they don't have the greatest of weekends either, so he'll be hoping to make amends for what happened 2 weeks ago once again here at the first anniversary Grand Prix. as Chereshnia tries to follow him through the village and Aintree. Or should the loop and Aintree. We'll see though, obviously Chereshnia is going to want to get up into P6. And if I am not mistaken, I believe that will actually be his, or equaling his highest career finish. If I am not mistaken. Yes, it will. Currently, he is running P7. His best career finish is P7. And he's now going to try to get into P6, as he is going to have the DRS. And he's going to go round the outside into Stowe even. As Parati was caught napping on the exit there. And Chereshnia does get up into P6 with 10 laps to go. Nicely done from Chereshnia. And Jafari Blackwood still trying to get Daniel Wall, obviously. But Wall has not fallen without out of the DRS range just yet. So I guess Blackwood will be having to wait a bit more. As Mandic now is going to chase down his former teammate Wojtek Kulasek for 4th. So this is going to be an interesting battle. The Racing Point versus the Renault. We'll see what is able or what is going to happen. As Graf leads by 10 seconds, Johansson seems to be closing down the gap to Klaus. So if he continues with this pace, we could have Johansson trying to break the Red Bull 1-2. As Mandic edges closer to Kulasek through Maggots and Beckett's. Now then, with the DRS coming out of Chapel, will Mandic be able to make the move on Kulasek? He's going to go to the inside line, but he isn't close enough to do it on Kulasek just yet. He's still gonna have a look on the inside line though, but it compromises his line on exit. No, he actually set himself up for the exit there. He's gonna be on the inside line, but he's gonna go over the curb and he runs wide. Luckily not into Kulasek though, but that's lost the Croatian massive amounts of time trying to catch up to Kulasek, and that's brought Chereshnia just a bit closer. Just about a second there, a bit closer, and Chereshnia would have been within DRS range. Looking at Daniel Waller once again, things have kind of stayed the same here, so nothing seems to be changing. But Blackwood, obviously, who we wanted to get into the points, we'll see if he's gonna be able to do it. Johansson then 1.2 seconds off Klaus, so he is gaining by quite a big margin compared to Klaus. So in the following few laps, he could make the move for second place on Alfred Klaus. We'll see then. It seems he's got quite good pace at the moment. As they head through Stowe. See, Walla just isn't gaining anything on his teammate at the moment. Maybe it is actually a team order from Alfa Romeo to have Emilia ahead, but I guess Daniel just isn't able to overtake Konichian at the moment, and I guess he's just kind of playing rear gunner at the moment, trying to defend from Jafari Blackwood in 11th to keep both alphas in the points. I think if you remember the biggest points upset for Alfa Romeo, as I'm gonna stop talking a bit, as Wala is gonna have a look on the inside line of his teammate, or his teammate, yeah. I can't, sorry for the bad commentary today, I'm a bit tired. But Alfa Romeo, obviously their biggest points upset, I think, came last season at Suzuka, when Milka Singh and Luca Farina were running 3-4, and then was Singh in third as Farina attempted the overtake on Singh. He just went into the back of him and continued. So Farina would finish third with Singh coming empty-handed. So it was quite the disappointment for Alfa Romeo that day, and I'm pretty sure they won't want to risk anything like that again. Daniel Waller, though, is going to try it on the inside of Konishina into Stowe. Will he succeed this time as the two Alfa Romeos go wheel to wheel? He's waited an insane number of laps for this overtake, as he's going to be on the outside line into the Vale chicane, and then Konishina jumps with the curb, and finally Daniel Waller does get ahead of Emilia Konishina for 9th. So that's finally the Chinese driver through and ahead his teammate. And now Konishina is going to have to defend from Jafari Blackwood in 11th. So will it be double points for Alfa Romeo, or will it be 1 point for Haas? That is going to be the question. As Mandic is quite close to the back of Kulasek now. We'll see if he's going to be able to make a move very, very soon, as Blackwood is now all over the back of Emilia Konishina. As Jesper Johansson, we look a bit further up the field. Jesper Johansson is now within DRS range of Alfred Klaus. So this is where I think Klaus is going to feel the Mercedes driver breathing down his neck, as there's Mandic trying to get past Kulasek, but he just isn't able to at the moment. I have to say, though, in the Renault, I think Kulasek is doing a very, very good defensive job, considering he's defended against everyone in quite higher machinery. There is Blackwood, who's trying to make the move on Konishina, but Emilia defends around the outside from Blackwood. And there's actually a move we haven't seen before. That's tossed on Victor Albom for 12. So still not even a bad recovery from Fernando Tost, because he was 13 seconds behind the entire pack in last place. So that's Fernando Tost up into 12th. There's Tomas Mandic, who is trying to get past Wojtek Kulasek, but just isn't able to do it. As they head through Maggots and Beckett, Johansson tries to close the gap down as best as he can. And he's just going to hope to get a good run under Chapel now as he engages the DRS. And will he try it on Klaus? He has a look on the inside, but Alfred shuts the door, and obviously Jesper is not close enough. Here then, it is Mandic on Kulasek, as Racing Point are going to try to bring home the big point here at Silverstone, but Kulasek defends around the outside. There is Mandic's teammate Chereznia there in the background, who gets involved into this battle. Blackwood then for P10 is still battling with Emilia Konishina for that position. As we approach lap 25 of 30, the battle for P4 raging on between one Renault and the two Racing Points. There's Johansson, and he's got 5 laps to overtake Alfred Klaus and break the Red Bull 1-2. And there's Blackwood. There is Blackwood on the inside line of Emilia Konishina into Luffield for points, but he isn't close enough to make the move on the Alfa Romeo. Goes a bit wide even, so that is going to be Jafari in 11th for the time being. And I think that's put a bit of stress off the shoulders of Emilia Konishina. We're going to look at Jesper Johansson, who is going to put Alfred Klaus under pressure, but Klaus keeps calm and defends from the Swede. As we look at Tomas Mandic, who is trying it on Wojtek Kulasek. Kulasek though defends, and Mandic does not get the best of exits. Kai Cherezhnia was trying it on his Racing Point teammate there to try and get up into P5. There is Johansson, then 4/10 is the gap between him and Klaus, and just has to get a little bit closer, I think, if he wants to succeed with making the move on Alfred Klaus. Heading through Maggots and Beckett's then. Johansson tries his best to close in, and he just has to get the good run out of Beckett's and then Chapel to be able to make the move. You can see he loses a bit of time on exit, so Klaus actually got a better exit that time. And you can see Johansson just barely manages to line up alongside. And there is about a car length between the two. As Mandic is going to try it on Kulasek. He looks a bit closer this time. He is still going to be side by side with the Renault driver and should be moved on for Tomas Mandic up into 4th as he's going to go around the outside of the Renault, and he does get it done. Kulasek does not get the best of exits. Cherezhnia runs wide as he tried to follow the Renault driver, but that is Tomas Mandic up into 4th. Well done then from Mandic. Finally gets past his former Renault teammate Wojtek Kulasek in 5th. There's Tost in 12th, who actually has caught up to these guys. I was not expecting that. Fernando Tost, who is now getting into the battle for points. Is he going to be able to do anything in these last 3 laps? We'll have to wait and see. As Blackwood heads through Luffield, we go a bit further up the field to the battle for P2 between Jesper Johansson and Alfred Klaus. Gap is about 4.5 seconds. Johansson is going to still try it on the inside line. Not close enough to Alfred Klaus. So I think Klaus might just have the 2nd place. As we watch the battle for P10 now. Wale has pulled away from Konishina. So Konishina is in a bit of a place for danger here. As everyone heads through Abidjan to start lap number 28. Johansson still trying to get past Klaus, who actually seems to have closed the gap to Graf. But obviously, I think now it is a bit futile, considering Graf leads by 7 seconds. But Johansson then 5/10 between him and Klaus heading into Maggots. Let's see what he will be able to do then as they head out of it. Gap is about 5/10, so I don't actually think he is close enough. And for some reason, it just closes the DRS flap at the just at the halfway point of the straight. I don't know why it does that, but yeah. As Johansson tries to follow Klaus through the SS. There's Parachki, who is caught back up to Kai Chereznia in 6th. So we'll see if he's going to be able to do anything there. There's Fernando Tost on Jafari Blackwood, who's going to go on the inside line. I don't think Jafari was expecting this, but Tost going to be there on the inside. Fortunately, he does not get past Blackwood then, but he's still going to try it on the inside line. But nothing comes out of that just yet. There's Tosten still chasing down Blackwood. Is he going to find the opportunity on the inside? He tries it into the loop, and they're going to be wheel-to-wheel through Aintree. It's going to be Blackwood, though, defending on the outside. Both do get the DRS, obviously, but Tost, I don't think, got a bit of a worse exit compared to Blackwood, and that is going to see him not able to get ahead of the Jamaican for the time being. Now then, Jesper Johansson on lap 29. Is he close enough to Alfred Klaus? That is going to be the question. That will now be answered as he is in the DRS. He's in a slipstream. He's going to pull out to one side. And no, he's not close enough to Alfred Klaus. What about Johansson's teammate Parachi, who's going to attack Kai Chereznia? And he's going to go on the inside line of Chereznia here into Stowe. Will he make it then as Dennis Graf starts the final lap of the first anniversary Grand Prix? As Parachi is going to swing around the outside of Kai Chereznia. Chereznia goes over the curb, and Parachi gets himself up into 6th and takes it away from Chereznia. There's Tost on the inside of Stowe onto Blackwood as the two are going to go side by side. I think Tost will get it done before Vale. No, he does not. Blackwood still puts up a bit of resistance, and the two are going to go wheel to wheel through Vale. But ultimately, it is Fernando Tost who does get past, unless Blackwood's going to be on the inside, but he goes wide as he hops over the curb, and it is going to be Fernando Tost up into 11th, and I think thus Emilia Conditioner will be able to hold on to 10th position. But now we're looking at the battle on the final lap for 2nd place between Klaus and Jesper Johansson. Will it be a Red Bull 1-2, or will Jesper Johansson be able to take the 2nd place away from the Red Bull driver Alfred Klaus? That is going to be the question as they head through Maggots and Beckett for one final time. Let's see if he can do anything here compared to Klaus, as he is going to engage the DRS here now. Let's see as they head down the hangar straight. Can Johansson do anything? He is closing, and he's going to try one final lunge, but it does not work, and it is going to be Alfred Klaus getting 2nd. But this man, who has driven an absolutely dominant race, he is going to take the win for Red Bull in only his 2nd race for the team. Dennis Graf wins the 1st anniversary Grand Prix, and the fireworks fly for the world champion, as he has driven an absolutely fantastic performance here at the Silverstone circuit. Alfred Klaus will come home 2nd to make it a Red Bull 1-2, and Jesper Johansson is going to be in 3rd. And I think that is Red Bull's first 1-2 in a very, very long time. I don't know since when, but it has been a long time since Red Bull scored a 1-2. I believe it must have been. I actually. Yeah, this is the first Red Bull 1-2 since the 2018 Portuguese Grand Prix. So it's their first 1-2 in almost 2 seasons. So congratulations, Red Bull. But let's go through the final classifications then. And here's Dennis Groff, who takes the pole, win, and fastest lap. What an amazing performance from Dennis Groff then. And it is going to be Alfred Klaus who finishes second for Red Bull. So that's going to be Red Bull rocketing up into the championship lead, both in the drivers and constructors. Jesper Johansson finishes third with Thomas Mandic. Brilliant P4 for Racing Point. So very well done from him. Then you have Wojtek Kulasek in fifth, who did everything he could today, but it still is P5 for him. And his Pratsky finishes a lowly sixth, with Kai Trezhnia equaling his best performance in F1. He finishes seventh with Emil Nilsson, a very good performance in eighth. Then you have the two Alfa Romeos of Daniel Wale and Emilia Konishina, P9 and P10. Fernando Tolos finishes P11 with the two Haas of Blackwood and Album, 12th and 13th. And Franco Gamba is the final finishers. And the non-finishers are Lewis McIntyre, Lavan Zasnishkai, Luca Farina, Samit Özkan, Giulia Cesetti, and Josef Frederick Schuto. So the two Ferraris coming home empty-handed, and the two Williamses as well. But that has been it for Formula One today. Thank you so much for watching. It has been a very, very interesting race indeed. Congratulations to Dennis Groff. But before we go, I will award drive today. And honestly, even though it is a bit predictable, I will give it to Dennis Groff, because once again, it is a fantastic performance. And selling into a new team as well, he's done a fantastic job, I have to say. So, yeah, very well done from Dennis Groff, and he gets my drive today. Either way, that's been it for the ACOC today. Thank you so much for watching the Formula One first anniversary Grand Prix. Tomorrow, we will have the Super Formula race at Bahrain, so make sure to not miss that, the second round of the ACOC 2020 Formula One season. And the F1 will obviously return next week at the returning Hungarian Grand Prix at the Hungaroring, so make sure to not miss that. Either way, I have been your commentator, Miran Nevji. Thank you so much for watching the ACOC. We will return tomorrow.